Hi, this is Mr. Katz, and welcome back to Camp Verde Soundtrap. And this is lesson 3. We're going to need our headphones, especially today, because we want to be able to hear all parts of the low bass instruments. And it always helps to have a mouse so you can do some copying and pasting. All right. I call this lesson song organization, where we're going to talk about moving stuff around and making your song more organized in a way that sounds good. And we're going to start by clicking our Soundtrap uh, bookmark button there. If you haven't made that yet, you can follow the prompts on the presentation or follow what I'm doing right here. Um, it could be in your bookmark list right here, or if you need to make it, you just hit the star, and in Chrome, you get this option of clicking bookmarks bar, so you get a button. Okay, once I've clicked that, I will get to the Soundtrap page, and this is how we're logging in every time. Going to our login. Now, I have a picture of it when it's black, but it looks really cool. Unfortunately, when it's changing all the time, then it's sometimes hard to find the login button. So the background changes and it's hard to see sometimes. On mine, I actually have to click this menu button up here right now. And you might find that those white letters blend in with the background. So just go to the upper right-hand corner of your screen, and you should be able to find either the menu or this button. Once I click that, here I am in my profile page, and I do have, you're going to log in with Google, of course, every time. Never enter your email address, although it does have it stored. And then we're going to find a project you've been working on the profile page here. So we find the button that reads Studio next to it, and you'll open up your song. And this is my demo song. I know that because it's called Dubstep. So you'd want to find one that says maybe untitled song, or it has your name. And next, we're going to, I'm going to go ahead and build a song from scratch right now. And the fastest way that I can do that is to click this studio button up here. Remember, I told you it does the same thing as Enter Studio. But I would like you to find that song that you have already been working on, so you're not in the habit of starting a new song each time. This is a new sign up with Google button, but give me a moment. While this is loading, I'll give you a heads up on what we're doing next. We're going to start picking the style of your song based on which beats or bass lines you may have tried, and hopefully now that you've tried a few different loops, that you can decide kind of what style of loops you want to listen to, and that will determine which ones go together. Now, that being said, you could have multiple styles of loops in your song. This is just a way of you being able to sift through the different loops quickly, so you're not doing what many students in my classes have done, which is basically in maybe a 20-minute period where they're given time to look at all those loops, just listening to every single one or listening to maybe 15 or 20 of them. And then in a 20-minute time period, that can be your entire work time, and you have nothing to show for it, and nothing has been saved into your song. So again, choosing a style is a way of narrowing down your choices. Okay, so I'm in a new project now. I could click music. I could even, I'll show you another way. I can always just click X and it actually just opens to a blank project. So I'm just going to go ahead and do these things, and you'll see more demonstration in this video. Although there are less slides, it'll be around the same amount of our lesson. Okay, so let's just say I want to go with hip hop, since that's one of the favorites. Okay, so I choose a style, and then I can actually type into this bar what I want to do. And as you know, you can always choose things by double clicking the name. But here I give an example of typing in the style and the beat, the name of what you're looking for, drums and beats. I can also just click the button and that will be added. So hip hop, drums. Let's find something and make it happen. I'm just going to kind of look through the titles here, and this one looks like it comes in a series: Latin Slack 1, 2, and bass. So let's hear it. Okay, there's one version. I like that one. So I'm just going to double click it. Now it's in my song. And I'm going to close this so I can see better. And I'm also going to do kind of what I'm going to talk about later, which is creating space. So I want to move this over to maybe 5. Okay, what am I talking about? Talking about that number up there. That is the timeline, and usually groupings of 2, so like first 2 measures right there, second 2 measures right here. So I'm having it start after the first 4 measures in this song according to the tempo that we have here. And so now I can have room for something else to happen here. All right, add a bass. The reason why I avoid 808s is because although they sound really cool, when we get started on bass lines and we're talking about melody later on in the next lesson, I want you to have a different type of bass sound than the 808s, which are basically just drums and low bass sounds, but they don't have what we call tone usually, or if they do, they have very little. Okay, but I'm going to find a bass now that goes with Latin Slack. Let's see. I'm going to just type in Latin Slack. Let's see if it comes up with beats. There's beats. Let me type or click the word bass. Latin bass. Okay. So here's another way of finding a bass sound, and I can click the space bar or this play button down here. I also can shorten my listening area or the cycle. All I did was make this shorter up here, and that means it will cycle in that section. And I'm just trying to listen to different bass sounds that might work with that without putting them into the song. difference between that one and the other ones. It was very, very low, and I'm sure it got a reaction from some of you, and that's cool. You should try out all sounds, but you can hear a big difference between this and this. Whereas the first one is what we might call a really electronic sound or synthesized sound. The second one, although it is a synthesized bass and probably not a real bass, it sounds like a real upright bass sound, and it is a bass line because it's something that you can remember and hum along with. Boom, 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 boom. Almost perfectly. So anyway, I like that one, and I'm going to go ahead and put that one in. Double click, and there it's at the beginning of my song. Oh, it actually started at the beginning of the cycle, and I want it to start at the beginning of the song. So I'm going to drag it over and loop it out. You notice that my cursor turns into the circle with the arrow. And I'm just going to go ahead and pull that out there. Okay, so I've got a good start. Everything's not starting at the same time. I have some space here. And I want the loops to sometimes look like this. Now, these stairs are going down. These stairs are going up. So you can have space at the beginning of a song in different ways, and the stairs look is really just to get you started on thinking about space in your song, and to understand that you don't want all of the tracks looking like this, where they're all starting at the exact same time. So that's why I'm moving the beats over. Okay, and this is what it might look like when you have built more of your song. So let's try and get that kind of look going on. And you know what? I'm going to use one of those 808 patterns. Let's listen to one of them with what we have so far. And I'm going to close the loop side so I can bring this cycle to the beginning, and we can hear bass without drums or beats. And beats are just electronic drums. That's why they have a different name. Okay, here's without. Okay, put an 808 in here somewhere, about right here. That one doesn't work very well. Okay, so there are many 808s, by the way, that can be found, but I'm going to go ahead and use this one as a drum break. So I'm going to put that in later on in the song. And move it over to where these drums stop. Okay. Here's a cool thing you can do. You can move these tracks up and down. You'll see that purple line moving when you've grabbed a hold of a track. So again, I'm just holding the name of the track, and I can pull it down here, or I can pull it up. The reason why I want to do that is to show that this is stopping, and then this one picks up where it left off. I'm going to go ahead and loop this bass part out. All right, and let's listen to what we have. I need to turn this purple cycle line off, or I can extend it out to where this ends. But if it was ending here and I want to hear this part, I'm not going to, because it's going to go back to the beginning. So use this thing as your tool. And you can also, if you prefer not to use it and you don't mind clicking this back return to the beginning button, then you can always turn it off by clicking it a couple times until it turns gray, and that means it will continue playing, and you just need to stop it and go back to where you want to be. You'll notice that I'm clicking on the timeline all the time to move this purple line around and find the spots that I want to hear. I'm also going to use this return button to hear the whole thing. So I like that 808 sound. I don't love it. I'm just going to have it be one little thing in the song and only happen one time here. So I'm actually going to adjust the end, pull it back, and have it just happen there. And let's go ahead and use the right click function. Now, in order to right click on a regular laptop, you're going to go to the box, click it once on whatever you're going to right click on, and then hold Alt down and click. And you should get this menu. So we want to get, the reason why I recommend a mouse is because it's much easier than alt clicking on something with a regular Chromebook. But alt click is how you get this menu. So just keep trying. You do have to select the box first, as I said, and it will change color. And then we copy. And with this purple line, select where you want it to go. It really should go on the same line with the sound. Okay, so if I copy this, I want to paste it onto the same line. Right click or alt click there and paste. Cool. So now the 808 comes in, it goes away, and my beat comes back. I also was feeling like right here, I wanted something else to happen. So let's talk about what else can happen there. But already I'm thinking about a beginning, middle, and end to the song, and I just want to introduce you to that concept that we're going to try and look for making something at the beginning, and the beginning can be similar to the ending, but the middle should have a change. So we're going to talk more about that in the next lesson. All right, you may have noticed me zooming in and out. And so this is a review from the last lesson. Find that that magnifying glass in the bottom right-hand corner. And that's going to allow you to build that beginning, middle, and end, because sometimes you might be too close like this and scrolling around from side to side, it's hard to see your song in pieces and building blocks of color boxes. So go ahead and zoom out in that case. Or if it looks like that, you may find that it's easier to, let's say, adjust the beginning and end of the 808 that you just put into your song by zooming in. Okay, so I feel like I've started to get a beginning of my song, and there's an example of moving around the song too. So I want to go back to the beginning. I can click up there or this button. If I want to go to the middle or the end, I might want to zoom out and click there, or well, yeah, up here, and you can scroll like this. Okay, so make sure your song has beats and drums and bass by the end of this lesson. Let's go ahead and add a couple more things, okay? So then you can kind of get the idea of what else might be going on here. Now, I started with hip hop, and maybe if I want a different kind of sound, um, meaning an instrument in this song, I have a style right in that box, so I should be able to find guitar sounds that fit in with my song this way. Okay, and we see that corazon. So that one probably will work. Let's go ahead and hear the song. Back to the beginning. Oop, not that one. I actually think that one fits pretty well. So I'm going to drop that one in and make that sound that happens kind of in the middle here. All right, I'm going to keep looking for something, and what are these ones? Chord groove, but it has the same name, so it might fit nicely. Sometimes you just find exactly what you want. All right, I'm just going to double click that and put it in right after that last guitar track. So you're seeing, again, the stairs example, and we're slowly building the middle of the song from the intro. Okay, so it definitely felt like the song changed right here, and that's what I'm going for when I have a middle section. It should sound different from the introduction, but I'm going to show you one other way of copying and pasting. I'm going to copy and paste more than one section or one sound. So I'm going to go like this, holding down, make a box, and select all three of those sounds. Then I'm going to right click on any of those three, copy, and I'm going to create an ending using those. I went over here, clicked the timeline, and on the same line as one of those sounds, it should work here, paste. Ooh. All right, so sometimes it doesn't work the way you want it to. It doesn't want to paste all of those, but I'm just going to go ahead and loop this one out and select copy. What we saw just now is that certain sounds don't copy and paste the way other sounds do. And let's bring this 808 back. Copy, paste, no. So sometimes it copies and pastes on the wrong line. I need to select that again, copy, and paste. Okay, and then I might have to move it around once it pastes in. Also, if it's on that loop, it did let me right click, but sometimes you want to, I usually try and click in the middle. But yeah, it looks like right click is working no matter where you click it on the box. Okay, let's hear our ending. Notice I have space here, space at the beginning, so not everything is playing at the same time. I'm going to click here in the middle so you can hear how it changes. Number one thing that everybody wants to do most of the time is delete stuff. So let's talk about deleting something that you don't want. I decided I don't like that bass at the end, so I just click on it once, and I can click the delete button on my regular keyboard on my computer, or I can right click and delete like that. I'm gonna also show you if I want to delete an entire track. Remember, you can go over to the names of the tracks here, find the triple dot, and right there. I'm going to loop this out and this out. So there's the general ending of my song. Here's the kind of middle section right now where the beat drops out and comes back in again. And of course, I can add a lot more and make it sound different, but you can already see the differences. So before you go, always make sure you save. I'm going to click that purple button because if it's purple, that means there's information not saved. If it's gray, you've already saved it and you don't need to do that. So it'll do this. And you did it. Good job. You made it to the end of lesson 3, and we're going to put it all together in the next lesson and learn about bass lines and melodies. So thank you, and keep going, keep practicing when you're not watching these videos, and feel free to go back, pause them, and work on the things that I'm showing you. All right, see you next time.